Hello and welcome back to the Poppin' Podcast. We are your co-hosts, Naomi and Rachel. We're excited to talk about a couple of topics today, so let's just dive right in. How you doing, Naomi?
I'm good. I'm hot today. I'm sweaty today.
Thanks for that. Very dewy face.
Very dewy. It's the sweater,
Ah, yes.
but it's okay. I had to look presentable.
Cool.
So, you had a buzzword you wanted to talk about today, right?
So,
Got
the
it.
buzzword is self-care.
Mm.
And I want to talk about how it's become this buzzword, and how it actually shows up. Maybe not in everybody's life, but I would say in our lives, in our experience, which I think a lot more relatable to the average person and mom. And one of the things I was thinking about was the importance of meeting self-care where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And so that will mean that self-care looks very different for everybody, right? So back to the buzzword, it's often looked at as like spa days and baths. Like for some reason, that's become the self-care holy grail. We talked about holy grails in our last one, but that seems to be like the norm, the benchmark for self-care. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's relatable, but it's also not in the realm of possibility for everyone. Like I don't even have a bath. I just have showers in my house. So
Yeah.
bathing for me is not self-care. Going to the
I
pool in a
hate
hot tub.
baths. I hate baths. That is not on my list to wind down after a long day.
Exactly. I feel like it's a lot of work to get. You have to run the bath, and then like if you're gonna have a bath, you won't need bath bubbles and other
Yeah.
things to make it more enjoyable.
But you do see that, like, that picture of self-care is a book and a bath with that little table. There's a candle and like some cheese and crackers and if you love that, that's great. But
Totally.
that's not me. Like I'm not gonna sit there and eat in a bathtub. I'm
If
just
somebody
not.
else sets it up for me, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But to me, that's just one more thing on the to-do list, right? The
Yeah.
the self-care ritual. So what I like to do is really wrap it into my daily practices. And it's not like I have like this is my self-care routine every day or anything like that. Honestly it comes back to nervous system regulation.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm starting to feel dysregulated is when I'm like, okay, I need to take some time for myself. And usually that's alone time, right? There's a Bluey episode that I love where the mom is making dinner, and then both girls are like at her, Mom, look at this, Mom, I want to show you this, Mom, this, and and she's doing a bunch of stuff, and then Dad comes home and she takes off her apron, gives it to him, and said, I just need 20 minutes where no one talks to me. And goes upstairs to the bedroom, and then of course
So relatable.
Bandit does crazy things to keep the kids out of the bedroom, which is
Right.
hilarious. But that could be one thing. That could be your self-care. Even at work, when you start to feel dysregulated, taking a minute and where you're just by yourself and you could breathe, right? Because the breath is what brings us back. If you think breath work is woo-woo or whatever, there is science behind, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying anybody.
No, I
I'm not
know.
attacking you.
How dare you?
Because like there's a totally other topic is there's this whole stigma around like the spiritual world and how it's woo woo and blah 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 blah, but breath work is literally like there's science behind the breath and bringing your breath down. A lot of people, their breath is up in their chest, and
You're holding it too. You're like
holding it.
Yeah.
100%. And so if we can get your breath back down into your belly, then that'll regulate your nervous system. I have a story of this yesterday. I received a stressful phone call, and then I was sitting down to work, and I was like, I can't just work. I'm not going to be very effective right now. So I just like put everything to the side and just closed my eyes and breathed until I like felt more regulated. So we can call that self-care. I think that's like just a super important part of your day, or any time that you feel dysregulated, is being able to take that time by yourself. And if you can't, like doing it anywhere you are is good enough.
And also like that example to your kids, if they say like, okay, we're all gonna breathe together.
Yeah. And that's
Like
take that second or however many seconds it is. It's so important to be able to regulate yourself back down. And
Yeah.
so bringing that back to self-care is when you take care of yourself by doing little things like that, and it's a regular thing, it becomes a habit, then you have the capacity to show up better in your life, all aspects of your life. Like I said, I was going to sit down and work, and I was like, I can't be effective right now. I'm just going to be so distracted thinking about this phone call. And honestly, it didn't take very long. I've practiced this for a while, and it'll take some practice to get there. Maybe not. Maybe for some people it'll click right away. I'd say maybe it took 3 minutes, if that. And then I was like, okay, now I can work. And then I didn't even think about that call until later. And when I did, I wasn't immediately back up breathing quick. Like I was like, okay, now I can think about this.
Yeah, because you told your body, like, we're not in
That's
trouble.
right. We're safe, and it's
Yeah.
safe even in this stressful situation. And then when you can do that, then you see that the story you tell yourself about the situation isn't necessarily true, and it's your perspective on it. So when I was able to reflect on it, and I was able to talk about it and not be stressed, that really helped me see, like, oh, this is actually probably a positive thing. It wasn't stressful, but I had to work through that to get to that other side.
Well, that ties into your video you posted a couple days ago about the what if.
Mm-hmm.
So you can even use that in those regulating moments to say, well, what if it's a best friend calling, or, just changing it? Or what if this phone call changes my life? Or what if this is the best opportunity that could happen for me? Or whatever it is, really changing the story in your brain to being positive.
Totally. I think that it's a lot of simple things are such powerful practices, and if we can implement that little switch or switch them in your daily lives, then that builds your capacity for a less stressful, less anxiety-ridden life. I think that's what self-care is. It's literally taking care of yourself. And I have seen a lot of posts out there saying, like, the mom is the rock of the home. If mom's not regulated, nobody's regulated. And I've experienced that. When I am not regulated, everybody else, it just goes crazy. And because your energy is being projected out and they're feeding off of it or reacting to it and then giving it back to you. And there's science that the kids don't regulate their own nervous system until they're 7. And so they really rely on you.
Yeah.
For that. And so it's super important to take the time for yourself. And what I'm wanting to normalize here is self-care as whatever that means for you.
Yeah.
It's not just spas and baths. Like, that can work and that's fabulous. But, like, maybe it's just getting in really cozy, comfy clothes and a blankie or whatever if you don't like being warm. Then, and like a coffee. For me, that's like sitting on the couch with a blanket and a coffee. Sometimes it's reading, but sometimes it's not doing anything. And that's self-care for me. And that doesn't need to take a long time. And because that's the other thing with self-care, when it's a bath or a spa day, it takes a long time. You need that support from your partner. And if you don't have that, good luck, right? But if you can just do these little, like, snippets of self-care throughout your day, then that, like, really, I have found that has really helped me recharge.
I think and like what you're saying, it can be different for everyone. I'm also a favorite of sitting on the couch with a cup of coffee, or like Saturday morning, that's a coffee in bed while the kids are watching a movie and me and my husband are just sitting on the bed, just relaxing. And that's not even like alone self-care, but that's like important even for marriages, is just to have that alone time and just to sit there and talk about adult things like our Amazon list, so it could look different. And I know we were talking about this earlier, but part of self-care for me is makeup, or even like skincare. I love washing my face and putting on all the things and rubbing it into my skin and then doing makeup. And you were like, that sounds like no fun. And I'm like, that's my favorite part of my day.
Yeah, because it feels safe to you, right? Like, that's why I like the self-care as a nervous system regulation thing, because that makes you feel regulated, right?
Yeah.
To me, that makes me feel very unregulated. I'm like, oh my God, I have to put makeup on. I like to put makeup on sometimes, but for me,
but only when you want to. Yeah, I wear makeup. I mean, I wear makeup every day, mainly because I'm on camera for work, so I want to present myself that way. But I genuinely love to do makeup, so it's
that's cool. Yeah, and I want to say that whenever I'm saying something, and I feel like you're the same way, is that we're not vilifying anyone. This is a safe space. We're giving our shared experiences and what's working for us. But if something is unrelatable and you're like, oh, I like doing it this, that's awesome. Like, we want people to do things their way.
Yeah.
Way that works for you. And if before you can find your own way, sometimes it helps to mirror what other people are doing. And then you realize, oh, that doesn't actually work for me, or this part works for me, but this part doesn't.
I think it's styling the shame away from, I'm not doing that, so I don't have self-care.
Yeah.
Or like they comparing to what their routine looks like and saying, well, maybe that's why I feel so stressed out, or maybe that's why I'm so unhappy, is because I don't take a bath every evening.
Yeah.
And it's not, they're just choosing and prioritizing something that they love
Yes.
to calm themselves down and to choose productive things versus destructive self-care, which, like, scrolling on your phone, and we'll talk about this probably every episode, but that's a destructive self-care. It feels good in the moment, but it's not productive. It's not actually regulating you. Even like, I love a good glass of wine on Friday evenings to calm down after work, but there's such a thing as too much wine. So like, just making sure it's productive and not destructive.
And healing.
And healing, yeah.
Right? Alcohol is 100% not healing. Like, it's literally a poison.
No.
I am not against drinking. That is not what I'm saying.
No, I love a good glass. Like I said, I had one last night.
Exactly.
But it's like, it has to be productive. I can't do that every single night because I would be unhappy. So
I feel gross too now. I'm old. I feel gross drinking all the time. Like, but I love the taste of it.
It's definitely, it has to be planned. Like, if I have something the next morning, I'm like, no, I can't, because
No.
I won't be functioning tomorrow.
Right? It's not self-care then at that point, right? Because then
no, it becomes destructive. Exactly.
I like that. Destructive versus productive or constructive. Yeah.
Or constructive. Yeah. I think, and again, like, everything in moderation. Like, we're not saying you can't ever look at your phone, or you can't ever have a glass of wine, or you can't have a bath, because we don't like baths. Like, it's whatever works for you in the moment. And I would say breath work, or like going on a walk, or doing something that calms your system down, is the bare minimum.
Agreed.
That is not like the top of your pyramid. That is the foundation of your self-care.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is like, there needs to be a foundation. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. When I had an infant, and I was like, today my self-care is a shower, and because it felt so nice to have a shower, and I was like, this feels great. I feel awesome. And then I like read on, somebody posted on Instagram, was like, showers are not self-care. Showers are like 100% necessary for life. And I was like, yes. And self-care is 100% necessary for life. Like, self-care isn't some, I'm getting loud because I'm excited about this. It's not, it should be a non-negotiable, like a freaking shower.
Your hygiene, taking care of yourself, is the basic definition.
It is a basic human need. This is what happens when I am unregulated. I start yelling at my kids. Like, everything is a problem. Everything brings me close to tears. I don't get that way very often because I'm like a very, very patient, chill person. But I've seen that other people live like that, and it bothers me because I'm like, I've been on the other side, and so I would love to see more people being able to regulate their nervous systems and being able to, I don't know why this is making me cry right now.
This is real. It's real, Rachel. It's because this is our life.
Yeah. And I would love to see people being able to not yell at their kids because they have a regulated nervous system, not because they feel that's their only option.
Right. Well, and most of the time, if anyone's like us, like, whenever I do yell at my kids, I feel so awful.
Right.
Like, I'm not like, just show them. Yeah. I'm like, I was the worst mother ever today. I raised my voice. I wasn't kind to them. I wasn't a good example. And like, I think every mom can relate to that feeling. Being able to help in some way that is productive for them to help regulate themselves. Because guess what? That is like a generational curse, right? If they were never taught to self-regulate, they're never going to be able to teach their kids to self-regulate. Exactly. And you're doing the work of what their parents should have done.
That's right.
And I would also agree with you, like, it takes a lot to work me up, but it's not impossible. No. Like, I think that shows we had probably pretty regulated parents. Still something I have to remember in the moment.
Yeah.
And that sometimes is just more of a habit. And like we saw when we were chatting on FaceTime earlier, Emma was freaking out. And I was like, Mommy's busy. Like, whatever is wrong, I will fix it in a moment. And then I had to like click and go, no, let me fix this right now.
It
She's starting to escalate. And all it was a ponytail. She just wanted her ponytail redone. It took me 5 seconds. So it's important to recognize that what I was doing was really important to me, just as her ponytail was just as important to her. You saw it in real time where I was like, no, I'm going to shift my focus to you because what I'm doing is not that important. I'm just putting on clothes. Like, I can do that after.
Yeah.
And she ran off. Like, she didn't even need a snuggle. She didn't need anything else except
But
me to fix her ponytail.
but if you hadn't have done that, then her emotions would have escalated because for her
Yeah.
that was like the end of the world that her
Top
ponytail wasn't
priority.
fixed or whatever, right? So I
Yeah.
think we forget, especially if we weren't, if we were unregulated often as children. And like you said, we even had a fairly regulated upbringing. And so I've seen this thing where it's like we're parenting ourselves while parenting our children. I think I do this. I forget that my children are their own sovereign beings. Just because I have authority over them and can tell them what to do doesn't make them less of a human being, doesn't make their feelings and their needs and wants less than mine.
Right.
And I forget that like the world moves so fast, and for me like getting kids out the door or whatever, that's like it's a trigger for me because I always felt rushed as a child. So I've like developed ways to I just start earlier so I have more time, so that if there are things that go wrong, then
Yeah.
then I have the time. But I sometimes it's like I need to get them out the door. They're not listening, and so I'm like, like it's this
Yeah.
feeling rising up, and I'm like, we just gotta go. And then sometimes I'm just like, whoa, no, like being on time isn't going necessarily. Maybe sometimes it is, but it's not necessarily more important than whatever they've got going on. Like to you and me, rocking the boot, we're like whatever. But to a child, especially with sensory, like the sensory thing is very intense for them. It's a big problem. And so I tend to forget that the little things that kids are dealing with are very, very large for them because they don't have the world experience that adults do. And so if we remember that, and I love how you stayed super regulated with her. You were so like, you're like, oh, you just need a ponytail fix. Like you
Yeah.
didn't make her feel bad. You weren't yelling. You didn't raise your voice. You stayed
No.
very calm and like with a gentle voice. And then she was fine. And because
Yeah.
I think because a lot of humans in general aren't regulated, we're not taught how to do this. We're not taught mindfulness. We're not often even
Mhm.
aware that this is happening. Like the first step is just being aware that you're
Yeah.
unregulated, and that even if you don't do anything the first time, being aware, you're like, oh, okay, I saw what happened there. I yelled at my kids. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe next time I'll do something different. And it's baby steps. It's
Hmm.
maybe the next time you still yell at your kids. Maybe the next time it's a pause and then you yell, and like you like just being aware of it and then
Yeah.
deciding to do it different and like slowly building that habit.
Yeah. I think also voicing that too, like I will apologize to my kids if I've overreacted.
Me
And
too.
so I'll be like, mommy was really stressed out and I didn't act very respectful. I'm so sorry I yelled at you. I shouldn't have yelled at you. And put words to that feeling. And then once I see them doing that, I say, hey, remember when? And I will trace it back to when I yelled at her. And now she's, especially Essa, because she understands it, but the boys will get there. But it's like a full circle moment where she goes, oh, yeah, like that. There is words to describe how I'm feeling now. And screaming and overreacting isn't how I have to act. And
Yeah.
I think it's also like you don't have to shame yourself, but you have to take accountability. And that usually removes the shame when you go, yes, and then you choose to do the right thing. And
I
that's apologizing. And you have to let go of the shame.
I love that because you're absolutely right. Is like shame only festers in the dark. And so as
Yeah.
soon as you bring it to the light and you name it and you take
It's like, I did
responsibility for
this.
it,
Yeah.
it like, oh, I'm
It
getting
just
triggered talking
releases
about
it.
this. It
Yeah.
does.
And it shows your kids accountability. So now when I've had Essa apologize to me, mommy, I overreacted. And I'm like,
As
it's
soon as they start apologizing on their own, I'm like,
yeah.
oh, my work here is done.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, it's so rewarding. And I want to talk about that for a second, the apologizing, because when it's so hard for people to do.
Mm.
It is so hard to own our mistakes because I think because of the shame, right? And so we're
Mm-hmm.
scared. We're scared to
Mm-hmm.
bring it to light, even though that's what's going to help dissolve it. It's so scary to do that. I have made, like you, it's been so important to me to model that, taking responsibility for my actions and apologizing to my children. And
Mm-hmm.
it's made it so much easier in my other relationships, like work with a big, I'm sorry, that was my bad. Like, take responsibility for stuff. And again, that goes back to regulating yourself. Like, being shameful is a dysregulated emotion. And so if you can learn in just certain areas to like to bring that to light and to let it go, it's a domino effect, and that helps other
Yeah.
areas of your life
Yeah.
as well. And then if you become more aware of it, back to the awareness thing, and then like as soon as you're aware of something, then you can change it. But yeah, I love that, modeling the apologizing and
Mm-hmm.
being vulnerable in front of the kids.
I think this goes right into our next topic that we wanted to
Mm-hmm.
discuss, which was routine and how that helps regulate. And I know we have differing opinions on routine, but I think it's either way that we view routines or how we set them up in our life, that is also like the foundation of how you're going to regulate your day. And so that you can stay calmer because there's something planned for that morning to get out the door for school or to do school pickups, because that's always really stressful for me because I'm trying to wrap up work and then run out the door. And I think like the moment with Emma earlier was a beautiful scenario because I'm not rushed. I wasn't in a hurry. It's a Saturday morning. My routine on Saturdays is kind of just go with the flow. So I had the opportunity to stop what I was doing and help her. But if that was morning for school, it would have been a different story. I would have been like, nope, you're going to deal with that ponytail until I got this thing done, because my priority would have been the routine. So it can go both ways, I think, there. But I know that for our family, and we do have 4 kids, that we have to live on our routine or I am yelling because no one knows what to do. No one knows what's next. I'm rushed because I didn't wake up early because my routine wasn't to wake up at 6 before the kids. Like, if I don't follow that, it's chaos. And then they're sent to school from a super chaotic morning, and we'll drop them off and I'm like, man, that was not a fun morning for anybody. And now they got to go spend all day at school and their stress level is super high because I just rushed them out the door. Having a routine has been huge for us to help regulate everyone's emotions in the morning. And that's waking up on time. They know when they wake up, they got to get their clothes on. They have to make their bed. They turn off all the night lights and then they come downstairs and I'll already have breakfast ready to go. And then they eat breakfast and then they know they have to go get me their backpacks so that I can sort through their folders and put whatever they need in there and then shoes out the door. Like, and then it's like, okay, bye guys. And they had a like stress-free morning. I had a stress-free morning. It's like our golden rule. Like, if I don't wake up on time, it's chaos. I saw somewhere yesterday, she's like, don't wake up to your kids, wake up for your kids. And I was like, word. But how do you feel about routine? Because I know that we have a little bit different experience with it.
Yeah. Well, when I have 2 kids, so different. As soon as you have more kids, it's just more stress. Like, that's just how it is, and more things to take care of. So, I think having a routine is a really good thing for a lot of people. Even though it's like in your head, it's not different every day, right? And
Yeah.
so you don't have to make those little decisions every single day. And then decision fatigue is also another word that gets thrown
Yeah.
around a lot,
Oh yeah.
right? So then having that, um, the decisions already made makes your morning smooth for sure. I get that. For me, and as we're talking and I'm thinking about my morning, because um, I'm always like, I don't have a routine. I might
You
secretly
probably do.
have one. I probably do.
It's a secret routine. You don't even know about
I
it.
don't even
It's
know.
so secret.
Because for me, I was saying to you, I'm like, routines feel restrictive. You and
Yeah.
I grew up in a very strict church where, and our parents had 5 kids. So, like, I get it. Like, they had to get us out the door.
Yeah, I
And
relate to that. I have 4, and if I had one more, I would have even more routines. I have to, or it's
yeah, or
chaos.
it falls apart. And
Yeah.
so I think maybe I just have like a little bit of a less structured routine. Maybe I probably still have a routine. Um, because I agree with getting up before the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Although sometimes my child gets up at 4:15 and I am not up before that. Um, but there's like, I've discovered ways to deal with that because he's not regularly, but he used to get up at 5:30 regularly. So my husband and I switch off. And for some reason, he likes to get up early on the days it's my turn. I don't know.
He wants to spend more time with his mama.
On a regular day though, and he usually now gets up between 6 and 7. So
Yeah.
I'll get up around 6, and usually that's early enough for him. So I do like having that time in that, but that's something that I have recently implemented because I used to get up early for work to do work before the kids, and then I was like, oh, this is really nice to be up before them. So then I have implemented that. And then, but it's not, for me, it's not like, okay, I'm up at 6 o'clock and that's what I do. It's, okay, the kids aren't up yet. Maybe I'll have like 5 more minutes in bed. So I would say I have maybe a more flexible routine. It's like a general structure of like things that need to actually happen to get the kids out the door. But it's not like, if it doesn't happen at 6 o'clock, then everything goes to crap. It's much more flexible. Like, I'll get up, be up. Sometimes it's at 7, sometimes it's a little bit later. So there's like a hard stop. Like 7:30 is really late. Like we have to leave the house at 7:50, so that's really late. So sometimes I'll get like caught up doing something, and I'm like, oh my god. When I first started getting her out the door, so when we moved, our schedules changed, and Rob was no longer available to help get the kids out the door in the morning. Up until that point, we always did it together. Like that was a huge change for me. So I like really had to change things around and like change my mindset around that.
Change
but
your
I don't.
routine. Your secret routine.
I'm starting to think I do have a routine.
I have one, Rachel.
But okay, so say I do have a routine, but it's like I said, it's more flexible.
Yeah.
And like if the kids don't get their teeth brushed before we go, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I'm not like, I don't get stressed out about like certain things not being done. Like obviously we have to get the kids fed. They have to be dressed. Those are non-negotiables. So I think that's maybe my type of a routine is the non-negotiables, and then everything else can be a little bit more flexible, because I've seen it the other way where it's like we get the kids up at 7 o'clock, they're eating breakfast at 7:15, we get them out the door at this time, and then that's the part that I don't like. And that's fine. I think for me, it makes me feel really restricted, and if it doesn't happen correctly, then I'm like, oh no, like that's when I sort of like get dysregulated. But I do think for kids, a certain routine is important, right? Like they know that these are the days we go to school, these are the days we get up, and keep that.
Yeah, it helps them know what comes next, and helps them feel in control, I think, too.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do think you have a routine, but you had mentioned that it was like almost traumatic because you always felt rushed as a kid, and you always felt that you were never moving fast enough or something. So when you plan your routine, I feel like you take an account to not feel rushed.
Yeah.
Like part of your daily routine is to not feel rushed because you don't like that feeling. So I don't like to feel behind. So I want to make sure I'm always ahead. And that's just why our routines are built differently.
Totally. Yeah.
It's weird how we grew up in the same household, and we have such different feelings about the same morning.
Yeah. I think part of it for me, like the reason that I was always kind of like the last one out the door, is because I would not give myself enough time to do all the things that I wanted to do, because I didn't have a routine probably. So then I was like, oh, I want to do this. And then I would all of a sudden run out of time. Rob is always like, oh, you have poor time management skills. It's like, no, I just try to get way more done in than I should. So maybe that is poor time management, but I'm very aware of the time. I think maybe I'm hearing him.
I just don't think you don't care.
That's part of it.
Maybe. Not like in a bad way, but like you...
I care less for sure than other people.
Sure, yeah.
But I think I'm like, oh, I can get one more thing done. Oh, I can get one more thing done.
You like overestimate your ability to get it done, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the points what we're trying to make is, one, it's helpful to be up before your children. It doesn't have to be 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't have to be 5. For me, it's 6. Like, if I'm up at 6, I'm up before my kids, usually about 15, 30 minutes before my kids are up. And that's enough time for me to start breakfast, to get my coffee going. Like a nighttime routine that we actually haven't talked about yet is I always like preset my coffee maker so that my coffee's already made. That's like a little routine that helps my morning be easier. So I think there's probably a whole nother section on like nighttime routines that could be like getting their clothes ready for the next day. I don't do that, but that could be more helpful for them. But they like to pick their own outfits, so it doesn't seem like a necessary step. But I know some moms have like a whole nighttime routine where they get their kids' clothes ready to go, or I could do the backpacks in the evening versus the morning, and that might make my morning less hectic or however. So I think you can structure it different ways to benefit your life. But number one is we all have some sort of routine, and that's going to help you stay regulated.
Yes.
And
And
so
it
if you
looks
feel
different for
like,
everybody.
and it looks different for everyone. Yes, and that's good. That's good. We all have different lives.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like part of your self-care routine is is to include a routine. It's a part of the word we're not including when we say self-care. Rachel's all triggered over there. She's like, no, not routine. You have so many routines, Rachel. Who knew? Maybe that's why you're able to stay so regulated. It's all your secret routines that you didn't even know existed.
That's the actual secret. So secret that I don't even know.
Exactly.
Oh dear. All right. Well,
But
thanks for wrapping it up so succinctly there. That was a good list at the end. Thanks for popping in, everybody. We always appreciate whoever watches. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below if you feel so inclined. Thanks.
people do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
and we'll see you next time. That's what I was trying to say.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks for popping in.